All right, race fans, we're here with Joe Morrison. Joe is co-founder of Right to Breathe, which is a nonprofit based in New Jersey, with dealing with people with respiratory diseases like COPD and stuff. The Racers is also, he's done top alcohol and nostalgia, and back a couple years ago he became a top fuel dragster driver. The last time we were here racing at PRI in person, you announced that you were going to go top fuel with the Leverage family team. How did that journey proceed after the announcement?
It's been an interesting thing. I honestly, first I want to say I was honored to be able to do our announcement and mini press conference in the RacingJunk booth in here at PRI in 2019. So obviously everybody knows what happened in 2020 and the insanity with the pandemic and all that. So really was a kind of frustrating because here I am making my top fuel debut and everything got put on hold. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, other people had way bigger problems than that, so I don't know that I could complain about it. But yeah, so it was started licensing over the winter, and then we had to stop, and finally got licensed on July 11th in 2020 at Maple Grove Raceway. And in order to try to attempt to save my rookie status, we actually only did 4 races in 2020. So I did 2 Indy races. We had several races at Indy, and then of course ran Houston and the delayed Gator Nationals. So we did pretty well, qualified for every race we went to. So jumping into 2021, we had a more aggressive schedule. I mean, we're still a part-time team looking for additional partners on board to be able to run full-time, but ran 9 races, qualified for every race, and that's something that not a lot of teams could say. Finished 13th in the points, even though we only went to 9 races. So really, 2021 was a good year. It was a building year. I think really going forward, excited about 2022. We're upgrading to later style heads with the different camshaft, bigger fuel pump. I mean, really, I expect to see the performance of the car come around pretty significantly in 2022. So really excited to see things going forward. I mean, look, every run is a learning experience, and I'm grateful for every minute of it. I mean, really, never thought I'd have the chance of being a top fuel driver. So to be here even at all is it's just pretty amazing. So look, as a racer, you always want to do better. You always want to perfect your craft and become a better driver. But even along that journey, there's still a lot of fun to be had. I mean, really, there's nothing like driving a top fuel car. I mean, you just can't put it into words. So yeah, it's been a pretty amazing journey.
Now, how's everything looking? Now, you kind of alluded a little bit too about what your 22 plans are. What is the team morale? What is things looking like in the shop? How's everything going so far?
So yeah, we're going to have a couple of changes with the crew, but really overall the attitude's really good. I mean, Lance Larson is back as our crew chief. Lance has been tuning nitro cars, well, longer than I've been alive, right? So amazing to have somebody with that much depth, experience, and knowledge. So we really are excited about the direction of the team. Like I said, 10 to 12 races. We're looking at Gainesville. Let's see, what would be right after that would probably be Houston, Charlotte. We're looking at Virginia, Epping, Norwalk, and then Indy. We'll probably do a couple of match races over the summer when the tour goes on the Western Swing. So we would probably skip that. I would love to do Brainerd, but not sure if that's in the cards. Indy, Reading, Charlotte, and Dallas for sure. And then, look, we're bringing on new partners all the time. So ideally, we're going to be able to add to that and come into some new markets. So really a positive attitude going forward. Actually, Bobby, as we were talking earlier, one stat that I'm really proud of is 80% of the time when I was lined up with another opponent, I left first. So I'm proud of that. I mean, my reaction times are decent, and so obviously I'm looking to continue to improve that. There's guys that are quicker than me, so drivers, I should say. I don't mean that gender specific, but to be able to say I've left first 80% of the time on my opponents, I think a round win and maybe a couple round wins are really I think it's only a matter of time. We just got to get the performance of the car around, and that's moving in the right direction.
Now, since you've moved into the Top Fuel ranks, what have you learned? I mean, compared to the nostalgia drags and stuff, what is the biggest thing that you've had to learn going into the Top Fuel car?
So the competition, even in nostalgia ranks, is incredibly tough. I've been really fortunate. I think what has helped prepare me for the intensity of Top Fuel, and it's intense, and it is a step up as far as not just the performance of the car, but the professionalism of my competitors. But I've been really lucky to race against some of the best racers coming up. So I think the fact that, my colleagues and competitors in the nostalgia ranks, not just the Northeast Timing Organization or NITO in the Northeast, plus driving the Fuel Altereds, driving for Rocky Perone and racing against some of the funny car drivers on the East Coast. Those drivers are serious competitors. So I feel like that, my friends and colleagues in the nostalgia ranks, it's through their talent and my, by necessity, if I want to be successful, I had to improve. And really, it's the intensity of those drivers that help prepare me for the Nitro ranks.
Now, the Right to Breathe program, I mean, it's something obviously very near and dear to your heart. How has that organization changed over the last few years, especially during the pandemic?
So, little backstory, Right to Breathe, we founded that, my good friend Tim Charlet and I founded Right to Breathe in 2014, based on my dad's journey with COPD. Sadly, my dad passed in 2016, and if he had been diagnosed earlier, see, once you're diagnosed, you can slow or stop the progression of it. Most folks don't realize that becoming increasingly short of breath is not a normal sign of aging. And so because of that, if we can help people catch COPD early, they can live longer. So that really is the focus, as well as helping people who are already living with COPD, asthma, and pulmonary fibrosis, helping them live better lives. So because of the pandemic and because of people not really going out so much, actually it was just before that, in 2019, we had started an online patient support group called Pulmonary Chat. And you could find that on right2breathe.org, and it's on our Facebook, Right to Breathe Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So that has been one of the biggest changes, because the Pulmonary Chat patient support group is all virtual. It's done through video chat. So, now we've built up this great community of people. I mean, there was a meeting we just hosted last month. We had 120 people online from all over the country and the world. So we've got patient advocates in Australia and the UK that are joining us, for this, 3 times a month that we get together, the second, third, and fourth Tuesdays. So really the pandemic has inspired us to be able to use the digital media and and online to be able to reach more people. So the organization has grown significantly. The crazy thing is, there's about 15 million people that are diagnosed right now in the United States alone. There's another 12 to 14 million that have it and don't know it. And so the other thing that's happened is we partnered with, I've been very fortunate to know Grace Ann Dorney-Koppel and former news anchor Ted Koppel. And Grace Ann is living with COPD, and she and Ted are just as passionate about helping to find those 12 to 14 million Americans that have COPD and don't know it. So we've teamed up with them, and there's a website called copdsos.org. And the Right to Breathe screener, the questionnaire, risk assessment questionnaire, is on that website. And just recently did a recorded and streamed concert with country music singer Lyle Lovett. Sorry, Lyle, I didn't mean to mess up your name. Lyle Lovett, Rodney Crowell, and Steve Earle, as well as several guests, people living with COPD from the COPD community, and I was fortunate to be a part of that live stream. So that was right up until around Thanksgiving. That was available on Lyle Lovett's YouTube. Not sure if it's still there, because they were only going to have it available for a limited time. But the fact that we have these country music stars that are willing to help us join the fight to find these folks that have COPD and don't know it. So if you're feeling short of breath, you know what? Go to copdsos.org and you scroll down, and the Right to Breathe questionnaire is there, and you'll see what your risk level is. It's better to know and do something about it than potentially, end up having lost a significant amount of lung function that you can't get back. And really, my dad's journey, we used drag racing to inspire him to do what he needed to do to keep his COPD in check. And we had 10 great years of racing together before he passed away. And we just want other folks to have more time than that. So that's, probably a lot more, I know I spoke for a while there on that, but it's something that is near and dear to my heart. And I want people to enjoy racing as much as I do for as long as possible. And look, you know what? This audience obviously is going to be racing, but for us, it doesn't matter. It might be tennis. It might be walking on the beach with your grandkids or kids. Could be anything. Use your passion in life to inspire you to overcome the obstacles in front of you. And that's kind of been my story. Look, as a guy that's a landscaper from New Jersey, driving a top fuel car, I never thought it would happen. But my passion for racing had inspired me to just keep fighting, even when it seemed like there was no hope. And here we are, right? I mean, I'm so lucky to do what I do. But that passion for racing is what inspired it, and I think everybody has a little bit of that inside. So, if I'm going to ask anything of anyone is, hey man, do what you love to the best of your ability, and you'd be amazed where things could actually end up. It may surprise you.
Now, being here at the PRI show this year, you're in the Pengrade booth. How important are they to your racing program?
Well, let me tell you, as a guy who does not come from money, I don't have a legacy name in motorsports. Everything we do, we have to do what makes the most sense financially. We have to protect our investment, and we have to make sure that we can make parts live as long as possible. And I had been listen. I started running Pengrade in my Nostalgia Altered back in 2007, and have never run anything else in that car. Because of the quality of the Pengrade products. And we pull bearings out of this top fuel car, and the Babbitt's still on them. They look like brand new. And we reuse the bearings in the top fuel car because we can. Because the Pengrade oil sticks to that metal better than anything else. So for us, they are such an important partner to us because they help us keep our costs down because of how it protects the engine. So 5 gallons of Pengrade 1, Nitro 70 go in that engine, and those bearings come out looking like new. So, for us, they're a critical partner. I'm honored to be a part of such a great organization, and really, the people here are passionate about racing, and it's something we share in common, I mean, they put so much into their products because they want to see that passion for racing expand throughout. So, can't stress enough how I'm so glad to be with these guys, and it's like a family over here. It really is. And to me, racing has always been about family anyway. So great products, great environment, fantastic support, people that know what they're doing. They've been critical to the fact that we did qualify for every race in 2021, and they are a big part of that, why that was even possible.
Now, you've been talking about how good Pengrade is for you. You got to have a lot of other people that are behind you. Talk about some of the other sponsors you got on the team.
Absolutely. So we've got some really neat partners. One of them actually C-Force Bottling. That's Chuck Norris's bottled water company. And what a great thing. I'm honored to be able to work with Tyler Norris, who's their chief marketing officer. And we've had a lot of fun with them this year. As a matter of fact, they actually, it's funny. Funny story. So Bobby Lagana over at Torrance is a big fan of Chuck Norris, and I gave Bobby one of my Chuck Norris cardboard cutouts. It's over in the shop at Torrance's, which is really cool. But yeah, so it's fantastic. I mean, look, it's water, but it's great water, so that's great. So C-Force has been great. Speed Pro of New Jersey and Speed Pro Graphics have done all the vinyl lettering for the car. Specialized Autocraft. That blue on that top fuel dragster is paint, and it's paint done by Specialized Autocraft. Jeff Zales, Jeff Davis over there put blood, sweat, and tears into making that car look as beautiful as it is. And you got to come see us in person because it's got a metal flake in there that's just absolutely outstanding. So I thank both Jeff Davis and Jeff Zales at Specialized in Chatham, New Jersey. They do fantastic work, and Axalta provided the paint for us. So that's a great thing. Obviously, Diversitech, so the titanium surround and the titanium valve covers. When we blew that valve cover off in Dallas, as we popped the spark plug out, huge fireball, blow the valve cover off the head. We check it with a straight edge. turned around and put it right back on the car, used the same valve cover the next day. You want to talk about high-quality products? My friends Haskell and Beth at Diversitech and the whole team over there, they're the best, and so they provide valve covers for a whole lot of the pro teams out here, and all the titanium products that they provide, burst panels and all that. Bonifati with the clutches has been great. I mean, there's, oh my gosh, how many other partners do we have? So Race Software, they do suspension simulation work, and those guys have been fantastic. Let me see. I'm trying to think. I can't forget the guys that have been with Leverage Racing for a long time. Hap Whitlock at High Tech Cam, Mark at Mark's Mixers, certainly Superior Engine up in Michigan and doing the machine work for us. I mean, Phil's been just an amazing partner along the way. Of course, my great friend John Hale, Best of Texas Barbecue Sauce. So we have a lot of fun. And actually, on my YouTube channel, there's a couple of different recipes from Best of Texas. Best damn barbecue sauce in the country. And we do at least one meal with Best of Texas barbecue sauce for the team every weekend. So you come join us in hospitality and get yourself some barbecue. So John's been a great partner of ours and just fantastic. And again, we've been really lucky to work with. Everything we've worked with has been a great quality products and services. And it's been helped elevate the quality of the team. Surround yourself with great people, and really, you'll begin to have great results. So certainly, those are some of the highlights. We've had certainly there's a Steelworkers Union has supported us. Mickey Majors and I mean. They've been great, and Mick and Dina just have been a wonderful part of the team. It's, of course, all our crew too, but they've supported the team, in many ways as well. So, I mean, gosh, it's funny with a small team, we have so much support from so many people, that I end up going on for a long time when we talk about the partners that have supported us. So, really, it's been a great journey. My friend Ed, EJK Insurance in Pennsylvania, Ed takes care of motorsports insurance through Haggerty. So, if you've got a race car or even a business or street cars or anything, obviously we want you to go to the EJK Insurance website and go talk to my friend Ed. He's been, some of these guys, we never would have got to Gainesville last year without the support of EJK Insurance and John Hale at Best of Texas Barbecue Sauce. Those guys stepped up big early on to be able to help us out. So, really, that's been key. There's just so many different people, So, hopefully, I think that covers most of it, I mean, I haven't even started talking about our media partners, But, it really it takes a village, I mean, there's no way we would be able to do this without the help of the people that support us.
Very cool. Last thing.
Yeah.
What would make 2022 a success for you, truthfully?
Well, a couple things, right? So, getting this car to run low to mid 380s consistently, 310, 315 mile an hour or so. That, doing that consistently, that to me is really paramount to calling 2022 a success. So ideally, we'd like to see a couple round wins. Things.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No. It's funny thinking about it, right? Like, on one hand, right, like you want to set your goals high, and it's like it's funny. You sound like, oh yeah, I want to get a couple of round wins in Top Fuel. It's like, well, shouldn't you shoot a little higher? Look, you know what? The competition is so absolutely brutal, and really, with what we do on what budget we have, what we've accomplished is monumental. I mean, with the teams outspend us, anywhere between 5 and 10 to 1. So the fact that we qualify at every race, and the fact that I'm anticipating a couple of round wins this year, is absolutely huge. And I think we are a David and Goliath story. So to be able to pull on some partners that that will help us take us to that next level, I think we've got some of that going on right now. Right, we're already stepping up a next level. So to be able to go into 2022 with as big of improvement as we made between 2020 and 2021, I think that sets us up for 23, right? So really, I'm looking at this. I'm kind of playing the long game, and we have some baby step goals for 2022. And quite honestly, I'm hoping that we beat those. You know, I want to go in with some fairly aggressive goals and would like to see us go beyond that. So that was kind of the hesitation in my mind is, the wheels are turning. And I'm like, all right, well, how do I want to answer that question? And really, there you go is the honest answer for that.
Very cool. All right, fans, if you're going to go out in NHRA races, be sure to check out Nitro Joe. He'll probably talk your ear off, but you'll enjoy it.
Hell yeah. That's one thing I'll have in common with the Force, man. Get me going, and then I won't shut up. So thank you so much. Listen, I appreciate RacingJunk, and with RacingJunk being a part of our journey, and there's some blog posts I put up that are back in there in the archives, and really, again, grateful for the partnership here, and glad to be here.
Thanks, man. Enjoy the show. See you, man.